Hello and welcome to my fashion advice show. Today we're gonna look at three boys and I would point out the do's and don'ts about their style choices. First boy I'm gonna talk about is Prison Planet Paul. Rare to see a male YouTuber that bothers with basic makeup to make his skin look smooth. But he is making a mistake that is very common in British people. Choosing a shade that is slightly too dark and a bit orange when you compare it to his natural color. You can see the difference between his forehead and the color of his neck. He's really naturally pale, and that's okay. It's okay to be white. You don't need to paint your forehead in this shade. British people think it makes them look tan. It doesn't. It looks weird to anyone who ever saw a tan person once. Also, since he does put the effort in styling his hair and trimming his mustache and beard, it's weird that he doesn't do the same thing to the lower part of his neck. We don't need to see your neck tiny hairs. It would literally take less than a minute to fix. Next boy.
um, Insulting phrases like, my favorite was Amnesty Ireland, who I worked with on the abortion campaign, very closely. And then when they passed abortion, Amnesty tweeted a huge victory for pregnant people, you know?
I'm sorry, but women are okay with being called people. Some would argue that all the problems women have in society come from the notion that we are some kind of different species. You need to read Sherry Ortner. But this is a fashion show. It's easy to forget that Mr. Lennon is older. He's quite childish on Twitter, and he also bullies people that are so much younger than him. So, a thing that needs to be kept in mind when you look at our parents' generation is that most men were raised in an era that no one cared about what they looked like. When I see a man over 40 without hair coming out of his ears or nose, I can tell he made an effort. For example, his shirt is wrinkly but about his size and with no visible stains or holes, so that's something. One thing I want to say to Graham is go to the barber. You have waited a little too much since the last time you went, and this spitzy widow's peak thing got too long. If you have a receding hairline under that, we can tell you're hiding something. You're not making it better. Also, when you turn your head, we can see that from behind your hairline is uneven as well. Next boy.
Why aren't you 60? And why can't you identify as 60? What is the problem with you identifying as 60?
It's not the same as gender. You can't just.
You're right. Age is significantly less important than gender.
There is no connection whatsoever between age and gender. Unless you would argue that they are similar because age is ever changing, never fixed, arbitrary measurement, and sometimes not acting your age regards as a good thing. Now, the most annoying thing about Ben's outfit will need a little bit of context. I'm talking about his yarmulke, or kippah. Yarmulke is in Yiddish, kippah is in Hebrew. And like any accessory, it says a lot about the wearer. For example, a big black kippah means you are Orthodox. If you are more modern and Zionist, you will wear a knitted kippah. They are smaller and more subtle, and sometimes you can't even see them from the front. What bands wear is what we call here an hotel kippah. Shiny, big and new, that you can see was never worn before, and was given to the person wearing it so they won't stand out. He looks like a bar mitzvah boy. He looks like an atheist, secular bar mitzvah boy that was forced to do this by a family member and never wore a kippah before in his life. For those who are not familiar with a bar mitzvah, it's a ceremony where a 13-year-old boy is public speaking for the first time in his life. He reads a chapter from the Torah that he vaguely understands. His voice is either prepubescent or in the part of puberty where it's jumping up and down. After he finished reading, everyone is throwing candy at him. Every time I see Ben Shapiro speaking, I'm finding myself waiting for the candy part. And his shirt that looks new and buttoned and from American Eagle doesn't really help this impression. That's it. Thank you.